What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to come on here and introduce you guys to my German Shepherd. His name is Beck. We've had him for almost 3 years. His actual birthday will be tomorrow, January 2nd. And the unfortunate thing is that he's been going through a rough road to get here over the last month. On the 8th of last month, my wife and I had returned from a road trip and everything was fine. We fed him, and then all of a sudden he just wasn't. He would refuse to lay down, and he kind of kept his head elevated, almost as though he couldn't breathe unless he did so. And we ended up rushing him to the emergency vet like 30 minutes away, like immediately. And he ended up having to be admitted overnight because his fever ended up spiking to about 105.6, and he also had pneumonia when they ran the x-rays on him. They ended up starting him on an antibiotic there, but once we followed up with our primary, we saw that it was resistant to that antibiotic, so we had to switch to a different one. And honestly, from that point on, everything just kind of started spiraling out of control. At that point in time, he was struggling to keep food down, and he would just have a lack of an appetite altogether. I had to really go out on a whim to find something that he likes. I would give him ground beef, raw steak, just anything to get him some form of nutrients in his stomach so that he could take this medicine and hopefully feel better. And we had set an appointment with the specialist of internal medicine, but the issue was that it was almost 2 months later, and we were afraid if he was going to even make it to that day. And at that point, we had gone to several different vets to try and get him an appetite stimulant, and it would work for like a day, but then he would just keep on not eating and refusing food, and his energy levels would just absolutely crash out. And it was honestly kind of terrifying because the fact of the matter is if you know this dog and you know most shepherds by nature, they are definitely very energetic. So to see him on the other end of it was just heartbreaking. And eventually the emergency vet that we were dealing with finally contacted the internist, and they agreed to do scans on Christmas night. But even after the scans were done and all the samples were taken, he still would not eat for almost 2 or 3 days after. And due to the holiday season, some of the results may still be pending for another week or two so that we can even find out what we're up against here. But still, despite our efforts and the efforts of 3 different veterinarians, we could not get this dog to eat. And so we had him admitted to the ER one more time so that he could surgically have an E-tube, which is basically a tube that connects to his esophagus so that we could give him food. I know for a fact that I have some of the best followers in the world, and I am lucky and blessed to be monetized on this platform. And although we do have a GoFundMe in place currently, I don't want to continue to ask people for their money, so instead I will ask you to just stick around for a few more seconds on this video, share it with anybody that you feel it may impact, repost it if you like, or just stick around like I said so that the algorithm can kind of jump this to where it needs to be and I can utilize that money for his treatment. It would mean the absolute world to me, my wife, and to him to give him the fighting chance that he deserves. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. We love you guys. God bless, and Happy New Year.